की जय, पंचतत्व की जय. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण पृष्ठाय पुत्र श्रीमते जय पताका स्वामी आचार्य पादाय निताय कृपा पुताय ने गौर कथा दामताय नितग्र. हरि ओम तत्सत. So Hare Krishna devotees, welcome for morning Srimad Bhagavad Gita class. Today we are reading from chapter 18, the perfection of renunciation, and we are reading verse number 62. तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत, तत्प्रसादात् परं शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत, तत्प्रसादात् परं शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत, तत्प्रसादात् परं शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. O scion of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Okay. So this one, it's a very nice verse. As always, all verses in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everything is so very, very wonderful. Explains the entire concept of Krishna consciousness. If we have the intricate understanding of ability to understand, actually it conveys everything so nicely. So in this verse, the benefit of surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is given. In the previous verse, you would have seen the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. So that the Supreme Lord is situated in the heart of everyone as Paramatma. That has been discussed there. And everyone is like seated, just like we are sitting in a car, we are sitting inside this body. But we are different and the body is different. And here it is saying, therefore our duty, the one who's sitting inside the machine, the Atma, his duty is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's in this connection here, earlier one is mentioned as the Paramatma. That we will also see little more detail has been given by Srila Prabhupada. So here the point that is being discussed is very nice. Actually, if you are able to surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead situated in our heart, two things happen. One is, even in this life, we are released from the miseries. So that is two things. One is we are released from the miseries even in this life. That is the first point. So it's not that we continue to suffer. Many people think devotees suffer, but no. Actually, if you come to that platform, actually even in this life our miseries are extinguished. There are three types of miseries that we see. We perceive also, mainly we perceive, then really it is happening. The Adi Bhuta, Adi Daivika, these three things. What is inflicted by ourselves, what is inflicted by others, and what is inflicted by nature. These are the three types of miseries. And it is mentioned here, that we get the relief from miseries in this life, and not only it stops there, we actually therefore also at the end of this life we are transferred to the supreme abode where there is no misery, Vaikunta. Vaikunta is a place where there is no anxiety. That is the definition of Vaikunta, a place where there is no anxiety. So now this is also quoted in different places in the Bhagavad Gita itself. So I was trying to see if there are other verses which corroborate this one, and here are a few one which I will try to highlight. 2.51, there is a mention of this. It's 2.51, Karmajam Buddhi Yuktahi, that sloka. It is mentioned, by thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. So they free themselves from the results of this material world means they become liberated. Right? That's the meaning. Free from themselves from the results of work in the material world. So in this world itself. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries. So the same thing is conveyed in 2.51. We all know second chapter contents of the Gita summarized. It summarizes all of these entire teachings of Bhagavad Gita into one chapter, and we are seeing one proof here. What is mentioned in the 18th chapter has already been covered in the second chapter. And in that, Prabhupada is quoting a nice verse. It says, Samashrita ye pada pallava plavam. In that, the meaning is, for one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Mukunda, or the giver of mukti. The ocean of material world is like the water contained in a calf's footprint. Param Padam, or the place where there are no material miseries, or Vaikunta is his goal, not the place where there is danger in every step of life. So this is something which we need to understand. And Prabhupada, in the verse we are discussing, is also saying that we will go to this Parampadam as mentioned. One thing is, everything is actually, everything is emanated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? He says that, right? Everything is emanating from me. In that sense, everything is spiritual, including this material world. But this Parampadam is specifically referring to the Vaikuntha Loka. But at the same time, since everything is spiritual, it is possible for us to actually make this world as also Vaikuntha. So there is two different ways of understanding this. Therefore, in this life itself, we can make it, because we are in material world in this life, but still it is spiritual also in that sense. By our clear perception, we can be away from the miseries. But at the same time, at the end of this life, we go to the actual Parampadam. Actual Parampadam means the specific designated place which is Vaikuntha Loka, Parampadam, that we can go. And Prabhupada is quoting this in also a particular verse from the Vedic literatures, which is Rigveda 1.22.20 as Tat Vishnoho Parampadam. That means that specific place where Vishnu is residing, that is Parampadam. So that is very clearly there. He's saying, but Parampadam specifically refers to the eternal abode, which is called the spiritual sky or Vaikunta. So that place is guaranteed for one who's utterly surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is one. Then now let's come to the next aspect, which is he's saying, here the earlier verses surrendering onto the super soul, which is situated in our heart, right? Therefore, then how do we understand then the super soul is there, but we are talking about Krishna consciousness, then how it is? Therefore, Prabhupada is actually quoting this 15th verse, where he's saying, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. Then, who is this Paramatma? Okay, is he a different personality altogether that he's saying you should surrender to that? But he's already said that Paramatma is actually me. Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishto. I am there everywhere. Sarvasya cha, everywhere also I am there. And he's saying Hridi Sannivishto, I am sitting in the heart. So here when it is mentioned in the heart, the Lord is there, you should understand that Paramatma is not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and therefore we should surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. That is coming out very clearly. So this recommendation that one should surrender onto the super soul sitting within means that one should surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And then Prabhupada goes on to explain Krishna is already accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by Arjuna himself and also by all the great acharyas, he says, right? We all know that where he's saying, not only because of his personal experience, that is Arjuna's personal experience, but also because of the evidence of great authorities like Narada, Sita, Devala, and Vyasa. So that is the summary, basically, that one should surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we do that, there are two benefits. One, all the miseries come to an end. And that happens even in this material world. And post that, at the end of this life of that Jiva, he is transferred to the spiritual sky or the Vaikuntha planets. We could go to Ayodhya, you could go to any of the Vishnu planets or Narasimha's planet, or we all desire to go to Goloka Vrindavan. That's Prabhupada and the Parampara is expecting us that we should go back to, because that's the pure love of Godhead. That is where it's the experience the best, where Krishna, the Supreme Lord, has no limitations in his interaction with the Jiva. Anyone can actually have boundless relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no inhibitions. That is there only in the Goloka Vrindavan. So that is the highest goal that we are all trying to do. And let me just quickly see a few more verses. In the 8th chapter, there are two nice verses also. We can see 8th chapter, I think 8, 15 and 18th. I think 18th chapter, 15 and 16. Sorry, 8th chapter, 15 and 16, where about this miseries it has been mentioned. Mam upatya punarjanma dukkalayam ashashvatam. That's verse it is mentioned. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. Therefore, again, the highest perfection is to go back to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means we surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this material world, which is full of miseries. But once you surrender, this verse where we discussed today is that it says all the miseries will be immediately removed. And post that, you return to the Supreme abode. From there, there is no return is also confirmed in this particular verse. We are reading 8.15 and 8.16. Abrahma bhunan loka punar avartano arjuna. In that, the meaning is from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of miseries, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So this is again and again and again confirmed in different ways that this place is a place of misery. But one who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for him the miseries are taken away and he reaches that Parampadam. And once you reach that Supreme abode, Taddama Paramam Mama, that is the Lord of that is the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one who reaches that place, then there is no return for him. So this is the guarantee that Krishna is giving very clearly in different ways. He is trying to explain us. But only thing is we should make that determination that yes, I want to try, I want to make an effort, I want to come to this platform and stop all my miseries in this very life. Prabhupada said, actually, Krishna has also said, Bhunam Janmanamante Jnanavam Mam Prapadyante. That means it takes many, many lives to actually come to the understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We all have somehow or the other, like Prabhupada uses the word somehow or the other many times, like by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the great Vaishnavas, God is Krishna consciousness. Therefore, somehow or the other, we should hold on to it, stick to this path of liberation and go back to Godhead and attain eternal relief from miseries or whatever, however you want to see it. So with this, I will end. If there are any questions or comments, we can hear. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam.
Hare
Danvat,
Krishna.
Danvat Pranam to all the devotees assembled.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Madhava Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam.